Well, good morning and happy Reformation Day. It's snowing outside here in Arlington. I had to actually switch to my dark chocolate mocha coffee this morning. Well, little Luther and I are here today to celebrate the Reformation. It was 1517 when Dr. Martin Luther nailed his theses to the church door, 95 of them. He put them there to, stir up some debate. There were some things that he had discovered that he thought needed some more conversation. Some of those things had to do with the use of scripture, that scripture alone should be the authority for church doctrine and teaching and not what others have said or the traditions of the church. Also, that salvation is found through faith alone. It's not in good works or the things that we do to earn salvation, but it is totally a gift from God. Some of the other things he talked about was the criticism of the indulgence that was going on, where you could actually buy a piece of paper that would get you out of purgatory into heaven. He had some issues with that. He also had some questions about papal authority, things the Pope could do and couldn't do, and what was in the realm of the Pope's discretion. So those things got nailed to the church door, and well, you probably know the rest. It created quite a firestorm for Luther, and well, it kicked off what we call the Protestant Reformation. And it's when we became Lutherans in following after the footsteps of Martin Luther. Well, the other day I was teaching in confirmation, and we were talking about Dr. Martin Luther, and somehow I asked the question about who wrote the Small Catechism, to which a student replied, uh, "Oh, Martin Luther King." And I said, "No, no, no, not Martin Luther King, just Dr. Martin Luther." Same difference, they said. Well, okay, time out. First of all, let's talk about that phrase, same difference. Yes, it's an oxymoron. I'm not a big fan of oxymorons, at least not being used directed towards me. I guess I've been known to fire a good oxymoron from time to time, but when they said same difference, it's like, no, and not even close to the same difference. First of all, do you know that there's about 500 years difference between Dr. Martin Luther, German monk, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? Now, the interesting thing is, of course, that Martin Luther King Jr. was named after Martin Luther, the great reformer. His dad had great respect for the reformer's work and in reforming the church and bringing scripture to a high place of value and standard and by faith alone. So he honored a lot of those things, but honored them even by naming his son, Martin Luther. But it is one of those things that, to be honest, is not the same difference. And when I pointed out to her that one was a German monk in the 1500s and the other was a Black Baptist preacher, well, then she began to scratch her head and said, "Oh, really?" Yes, really. So, my little piece of advice today is you celebrate Reformation, grab a cup of coffee or a beer. That would be appropriate. Dr. Luther would like that, and hoist one up in honor of the good doctor, Dr. Martin Luther, German monk, who on this date nailed the theses to the church door and got the whole ball rolling. And yes, Dr. Martin Luther King is a great man, was a great man, and we respect all that he did for the civil rights movement. But for now, we're going to the beer toting German. So enjoy your Reformation Day. Yeah, there's something else going on today too. I'm not sure. Oh, Blizzard. That's it. It's Blizzard Day. It's National Blizzard Day. You might remember the last time we celebrated this day was let's see, 1991. I hope we don't celebrate it again today. But happy Reformation, sola scriptura to you. And we'll see you next time we turn this thing on.